Since a lot of people have been asking us, what went down day of the proposal, and even like how I planned it and how it all came out together, we decided to make everybody a quick video about the whole thing.
Yes. Oh my
Let's talk about how we
goodness.
met first.
Okay.
Yeah, so the way we met was basically in 2013, 2014 year. I was a fourth year in college. She was a second year in college. We have an organization, a Filipino organization that we like both joined, and there's a Filipino culture night at UCI, call it Pack In now, and she was in choir, and a good friend of mine was the coordinator for choir, and I didn't go to any practices, but I so happened to go to a karaoke night that him and his co-coordinator hosted. I just thought she was gorgeous, and then you hear her sing, and it's just like, oh my gosh, she's a freaking angel in front of me. And of course, with our luck, she was already with someone in a relationship. No, we were just kind of regular friends. I mean, we would see each other at like raves. We'd see each other, just at
On
UCI
campus.
on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Had like a little bit of conversation. Fast forward about 5 years later, I go to Coachella and I realize like I want to do music again. It was a very stressful time in my life, and I just kind of wanted to get more back into music. I wanted to do like some projects, and well, I didn't really want to do a music video or even an original by myself just yet. But I did want to get into music again. And so first, I just kind of asked my cousin Christian, like he has a studio. He's been doing this for quite a while. Like how can I get started? Let me ask him for some help. And also, how do I, ask someone else to duet with me? And well, it so happened that like her number changed.
I posted on my story that I got a new number, so if I haven't contacted you, message me and I'll give you the new number.
Yeah, I basically messaged her, and then like that was kind of like an opening of like, hey, I also want to do a music video, and asked her like, would you want to do it with me? Basically, 2 years ago we did that music video, and after that music video, a certain point in time where she was single, and we're like really really close friends at that time, and I ended up writing her a song, and this is before we got together. I ended up writing her a song that kind of talks about like the talking stage or before dating stage in a relationship, and it's kind of like how I felt at the time, and it's called "I Know You're Mine." It'll come out soon, I hope. Um, I performed it to her. I had my piano out and I sang it to her live, and after I did that, she teared up. All right, so last year we were supposed to go to Hawaii for our birthdays, and for those who don't know, my birthday is May 31st. Hers is June 1st. So we're supposed to go to Hawaii last year for like a week or so, but that didn't really fall through because of COVID. So by the time November hit, I kind of figured, you know what? Instead of going to Hawaii, let's go to Disney World because I wanted to propose. So it didn't really take much convincing for her to go to Disney World. I just kind of said, let's go to Disney World instead of Hawaii. She just immediately was all like happy.
Yeah, because I've always wanted to go to Disney World. Well, I want to go to Hawaii too. I've been there, but I've never been to Disney World, so I was like really excited, and I said yes.
To Disney World. So
Oh,
in November, it was like a time where I kind of started planting the seed of let's go to Disney World. And so from that point on, in December, I was like asking some people who already purchased their ring, like, how'd you buy a ring? I want to buy one within the next like 6 7 months, and they'd give me tips, places to go, like things to look out for purchasing a ring. And then
yeah. And
also,
meanwhile, I was just planning the whole Disney World trip and looking at videos, just pinning all these foods I wanted to try, planning for the thunderstorm weather and the hot weather.
yeah, so the whole time I was just planning the ring essentially. I was pretty much not even involved in the Disney World trip. I kind of figured she has it handled, and she was watching every YouTube video about Disney World,
Yeah.
every website article. It was kind of funny, but yeah, I spent most of the time planning this was all about the ring, and like there's so much to learn about rings, like the 4Cs. Look at different prices. Do you have your mind, your lab grown?
And even before this, like we're always just talking about like future stuff. So I showed him my Pinterest, and then I told him how
Super easy
whenever
after
this
that.
time comes, these are like the things, these are the ring styles that I like.
So I basically had a timeline of when I have to make a decision for the ring. And I was getting a little bit of help from my sister because my best friend suggested to bring a girl with you because you want to know what this ring looks like on a girl's hands. That's just kind of how it is. I was really close to buying a ring online, but obviously you want to see what the ring looks like in person, how it shines in the light. Make sure that it looks big enough and this or that. You want to know what rings look like in person, and you want to see what it looks like on a girl's hands. So my sister Crystal ended up finding a pretty good spot in downtown LA, where there was downtown LA has like probably the best deals relatively in Southern California for rings. The problem is it's an hour away. So there was on May 1st. It was a Saturday. It was my deadline of what I have to make a decision for a ring on May 1st. And I had like a default spot that was okay. It wasn't perfect, but it was like good enough. But that Saturday morning, Kelsey we didn't have any plans, and I just kind of said like I'll be at the gym, and I'll get a massage after. But I was gone from 8 a.m. until like 1 p.m. that day, like 5 whole hours.
Yeah. So he comes back, and I totally forgot that he was gonna get a massage. So when he came back at 1, I was like, "You were at the gym for 5 hours?" And then he said, "No, I got a massage after." And I was like, "Oh,
BSing this whole thing."
Oh, I forgot. And I was just looking at him, and I was like, "You went to your massage sweaty?" And then he said, "No, I showered at the gym." But he had a towel and like an extra shirt, but he was wearing his gym shoes. And then so I said, "You didn't bring sandals?" And he said, "No." And I was
just
like,
my shoes on.
Yeah.
It wasn't even gym shoes. It was like my regular like Vans
shoes. Yeah. So then I was like, "Ew, you showered on the gym floor?" And then he said,
I just said yes.
Yes. And I just thought that was so disgusting.
She was so disgusted. Like, ew, that's so gross. You shower again. And I was just like, it's fine, baby. It's fine. It's not that bad. The next weekend after that was her cousin's daughter's second birthday party. And that's when we're going to have a chance to go up north where she's from and where her parents are. So, of course, that weekend on Saturday we went to see the family. But the Sunday after was Mother's Day, and we decided to have a brunch with her parents. So I guess I'll speak to this since I don't know if
I don't know anything
you
of this.
don't really know what happened.
Apparently, I went to the bathroom.
At the very end of the entire brunch, actually before the brunch, like during the brunch, before I even said anything to her parents.
Oh, we were talking about wedding stuff.
Talking about wedding, like where we have a wedding, just like for some reason they're talking about the wedding stuff, and they're just like, oh yeah, it's in the works for like 3 to 5 years, right? And I was just like, yeah, and she was just like, yeah, something like that. Basically, after she finally went to the bathroom towards the end of brunch. She was in there for quite a while, so I had some time. I don't remember this either, but like, I was like, I have to go to the bathroom, and then you were like, I have to go to the bathroom too.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I just kind of chilled there. I was just like, perfect. I'm waiting for you to go to the bathroom. And then you were just kind of looking at me like, aren't you gonna go to the bathroom? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go real quick. So basically, I went to the bathroom. I went in the bathroom and like came out in like 30 seconds, and like. So I knew it was like finally the time where she's gonna be in the bathroom. But yeah, that was a pretty sus moment. So at that time, I finally went up to her parents. And I was just like, now that we have some time alone, I have a really important question to ask you. I'm halfway through purchasing this ring that Kelsey wants. We've been kind of talking about rings and stuff and weddings, and like I would like to give it to her on her birthday at Disney World. If that's all right with you to propose. And then her parents were just like, wait, so you want our blessing? I was just like, yes, please. And her mom was just like, of course you can have our blessing. And I was just like, oh my God, my heart, like, I love it. Like, I'm so like thankful for that. And her dad just gave me like a right on, man, like the nice like elbow to elbow. I was just like, at that point, I was just like, oh my gosh, I had the blessing. Like, and then like, I was like halfway through the ring, but if you get a ring, you can just hold on to it or something. But really, at that point, I was just like, all right, it's game on. I'm gonna start doing all the planning and make sure everything kind of goes through. Let's see. After that, one of the first things that I thought of doing was hiring a photographer. Now, our photographer, his name is Yannick Apers. I think that's how you say his last name. But he was a really good photographer, and I hired him. At first, I wasn't even sure like how I was gonna get a photographer, or even if I was gonna get a photographer. At first I bought a camera specifically so I can like capture some nice moments. And I talked to one of my friends from growing up. I asked him like, what do you think about like me trying to film this, event of me proposing on my own? And he was just like, absolutely not. You might mess something up. You get this moment only one time in your life. And I was like, you're right. I'm only gonna get this moment one time. I might as well find a way to hire someone in Florida, which that took a little bit of time. I finally found this site called thumbtack.com, and I found Yannick, and he specializes in Arizona and Florida, and he's really good at theme parks. And I liked his work, so that's why I asked him. Few backups, but when Yannick responded, I responded back to him. Um, so the day I actually asked him, told him my plans, and we texted, and we were on the phone for about an hour talking about how I want to do it, how I want it to happen. I want the Epcot ball, this and that. Pretty much an hour after our conversation, I was like relaxed, like, all right, one thing, off the checklist. He kind of calls me back, texts me, and he's like panicking, left me a voicemail saying like, hey, that whole week for Disney World, that Tuesday actually is completely unavailable. And I was like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, like, why did I just, hire the photographer sooner? Our secondary plan was, what, of all the Disney parks, the next best one to have a proposal, Epcot is just so iconic with that ball in the background. You know exactly where you are. Well, the next place was going to be at Magic Kingdom. And so, but our day for Magic Kingdom wasn't until Friday. And the other problem was that, Epcot was the only day available for the rest of the week. And so I had to get him a park hopper, which costs an extra like $70, I think. But luckily, after all, at the end of the day, he kind of just like texted me, said like, hey, just so you know, a spot opened up for a reservation on that Tuesday. Would you like me to do that Tuesday instead? And I just like immediately like, yes, please. I don't want to have to deal with a whole week of carrying this ring around like in Florida where I've never been. What could go wrong? Like literally anything every day of the week. So luckily that worked out for Tuesday exactly how I wanted. Now, one of the things I had in mind for the engagement was I wanted our families to be involved just a little bit because we're in Florida, but we weren't going to have any kind of engagement party, in the moment or anything like that. So the way I could kind of have her family there in the moment was to see if our families could just send, quick videos saying congratulations, or I didn't really care if they joked like "hope you said yes" or anything like that. I didn't really care if they joked like that, but that was kind of like a way to show a nice little surprise. And that was also a way to show her parents' blessing. It was like a video that like says like congratulations and good luck and whatever. So that's like what I worked on for like the entire month of May. I had to ask her mom for some help with her family because, well, during May she started working from home, and I've been working from home. So just imagine 24/7, every hour, every day of the week, we're just together, like all the time.
Yeah.
And so the hardest thing ever to plan is like a surprise when you live with someone and you're with them like all the time. The only time we're apart is when I'm at the gym. Like literally, it's the only time. So I would be at the gym, like on my phone, just texting, while like doing cardio machines or working out like this, texting like this. So remember that song that I wrote for her and sang for her? Well, I actually hit up my other cousin who helped with the same song. I told him, hey, I want to do this. Like, could you make an instrumental? I performed it to him live. There's like a raw file of me, a raw sound of me doing it live for him on the piano and me singing. And he just kind of made an instrumental out of it. And then I sang to that instrumental. We made like an actual track to it. And I wanted to show her that track again after the engagement. But as a bonus, one of my friends, Mark, is a really great piano player, like amazingly good at piano. And I just asked him real quick, like, hey, you think you can do a cover of my song? I really just thought like I'll use this piano cover for both of our families' videos that come in, a way to like kind of put them all into one video and have that pretty background song, and she'll know where that song is from. So yeah, so thanks Sean for the instrumentals, and thank you Mark for putting that piano cover together. The day I had to pick up the ring, it takes an hour to get there, an hour to get back, as far as picking up the ring. But this time I was a little more ready. I was just like last time I didn't have my excuses ready. I was almost caught red-handed. With a clean shirt and a clean towel, even though I was supposed to have showered. This time I was only gone for like 2.5 hours, but it was just funny because we had a birthday brunch that day and we're supposed to be back to the brunch at 11:30, but I pushed it to 12 just because of that.
Yeah.
And then
I was like wondering why he wasn't home yet, and it was already 11.
It was just funny because on the ride back, I was like, oh, I gotta make sure I look like I came from the gym. So I put the heater on full blast. So I'm just dying, sweating. Like, I'm just trying to make sure I look like I just came from the gym.
Oh, and then
My
told
jacket on.
our roommates to tell me that.
I'm texting my roommates. you know, don't text and drive. But I texted my roommates and told them like, hey, if Kelsey just happens to come back, you know, just to make it look like I came back first, I didn't take too long in the gym. Just let her know I came home real quick, and then I'm running errands. And then he's like, nah, don't trip. Like, she's not even home yet. And he realized, I mean, she is home. And he said, like, text me like, alert, like, she's already home. Just play it cool. Don't act like you came home. I was like, okay, it's a good idea. So, thank you, Feed, for having my back there.
So everyone always asks if I knew, and the only time I even thought of the idea was my friend was messaging me, asking about my Disney World trip, and then she sent me these Disney nails, and she was asking if I was gonna get my nails like Disney themed, and then I told her how I was, but I didn't know which design yet. And in my head, I was kind of like, oh, she should know that I get my nails done for every big event. And then even just like everyone I talked to, like our friends and my cousin, like everyone was just like so excited for my trip, which is great. But I just thought like, why is everyone so excited? But like I just brushed the idea off because they like some of them have been to Disney World before, so they were giving us tips. Or my friend said she wanted to go with her boyfriend in the future. So I was like, oh, okay, everyone's just excited and wants to talk to me about that. I thought that if he was going to do it, he would maybe do it at the castle, but I was just like, that's just like a dream. So I just completely like threw away that idea.
I actually asked her friends, you know, I said, like, we both kind of agreed, like, she'll probably get her nails done, but what if she doesn't, you know? And that's when she kind of said, like, I'll just make sure and, like, ask her if she's going to get her nails done. Of course, she was.
So when I got my nails done, I showed the lady a picture of these Disney nails that had clouds on them with blue French tips and then a hidden Mickey. And in the picture, they held it up against the castle, so it looked like the sky, and it kind of reminded me of Up. And so when I posted my nails on my story, I wanted everyone to be able to see the clouds and see what I was like referring to. So I put the Up theme song in the background, and that just happens to be called Married Life. And I just like liked that theme song, and plus it went with the Up
Most
theme.
name ever.
So when everyone saw it on my story, they all thought that I knew. But
she knows. That's exactly what I thought. She knows, tell my homies. She knows. Like, it's not even a secret anymore.
But I had no idea.
All right, so before game day, you know, I was also freaking out because the week before, you know, our vacation week, if you look at the Florida's weather, you know, the forecast was going to be all thunderstorm and rain the whole week. And I was kind of freaking out. Like, I already paid the photographer, and I'm like texting her parents, like texting my friends, like, what do I do? You know, I paid the photographer. I don't think we're going to go to Disney World or anything special like this in quite a while. You know, what are we going to do? And they had some suggestions, like maybe we could go inside, or hopefully he's okay with, you know, shooting in the rain. And luckily on Tuesday it was just clear skies, super clear, really sunny actually. It was kind of hot. When we get to Epcot, the first thing we do is, well, the flower festival's going on, so we start taking some pictures. And there's like actually the very first spot, which happened to be the proposal spot later, you know, is where we take some pictures. And like that's what we're doing. We're just taking pictures. I've got my nice camera. And
then we were just eating and drinking and exploring Epcot. Usually I'm always posting on my story, especially when I'm on vacation. But this time we just posted a few things, and then I just wanted to enjoy the day, and I was just living in the moment, enjoying my birthday because I was having so much fun. So we just like are eating, drinking, and going on some rides. And
I was just trying to get over my nervousness for the whole day because like I was like, let's drink more. You see me down a whole hot sake.
Yeah.
For my stories.
Later on, we have dinner at like 4 p.m. and we didn't know that the large pizza was going to be
It was huge. It's a huge pizza, and there's only 2 people.
Yeah, so we couldn't finish it, so we ate way too much. We had a lot of alcohol, and it was like sugary drinks. And then the weather was like 90 degrees, so we were like dying.
So while this is all going on, like the whole day, like I'm drinking like this and that, I'm actually in contact with the photographer, Yannick. We're talking, we're like texting, like we're gonna meet up an hour before. Our scheduled time was at 7, so we're gonna meet up at 6. And so the entire day we're having our locations. And yeah, I was just like, we're like really tired and stuff. Basically, after the pizza that we got, went to the bathroom to meet up. Then we're just like, hey, like nice to meet you. Like here's our game plan, you know. He said there are 2 spots that we can take this picture. The first spot was at the entrance. Right in front of the ball, you can see the huge ball, and it's a really good shot. But the problem is that it's way too close to the entrance, and it makes it look like we're going home. And Epcot's pretty huge. I also knew that we don't have that much time to take other photos, and where I want to do it in the pavilion area, where there's like more flowers and stuff. Um, so that was one option that I was like a little too far. But our second option was in the very first spot where we took pictures in the morning, and he kind of chose those two locations because those were like locations where he could set up a trap. And we kind of talked about. I was like, here's where it is on the map. We're gonna make sure we go here, maybe like around 7 or so. And that was our game plan. The next ride we had was Test Track, which we knew was like an hour long. There was like 6. Said no, Test Track's gonna take about an hour.
We felt like we were dying in line, so we popped some Advils. I put my hair up, and we were just using our cooling towels and our fan. And then we finally get on the ride, and I'm having a lot of fun. Like, you could tell in the picture I'm screaming. But then if you look at Ryan, he's like frozen like a statue.
Oh my gosh. I was so nervous. And I'm not nervous about the yes or no part. I'm more nervous about like, what if I lose the ring, 15 minutes before? What if like, the photographer just, I don't know, his camera busts or something like that. Like, what could go wrong? Anything. And that's all I was thinking about. So right after the ride, she was like kind of tired. She wanted to go home. And then I was just like, no, it's golden hour. We should take more pictures. I'm still tired too. And so afterwards, she was like,
I was just like, okay, I'll just go to the bathroom and try to freshen up and everything. And then he thought I knew because I was in there for a while. But I was just like using the bathroom and then like putting my hair down. And then I come out and then I was like, okay, so you want to take pictures? And he said, yeah. And then I just realized how my face just looks so gross at the end of the day. And I was like, let me just fix my lashes and like take all my sweat off. And I'm doing that for a little bit.
well, we're supposed to be there at 7, because Test Track is only an hour. We're supposed to be there at 7. But by this time, by the time we finally start walking towards the spot, it was already 7:40. And I'm like, meanwhile, she's getting ready and stuff. I just see the sun slowly go down. Like, my time's like diluting. And so, finally head over to the spot, and it's like a whole like walkway that we could see. But like, and I see our photographer just kind of sitting back, he's facing the opposite way from us. And I'm trying to text him the entire time. She's right here. My ring's in my back pocket. I'm trying to text him, trying to hide my phone. Like, hey, do you see me? I'm right behind you. Like, are you ready for the moment? Like, I'm trying to like get his attention. And the entire time he wasn't looking back. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this unless he knows that I'm here. And so finally, like, we end up passing the spot where we're supposed to take photos. And then he looks at me and he goes like, whoa, stop. Like, back up. And that's just how we're communicating the entire time. Was, he just has to give me hand signals the entire time. Like, I'm like, oh crap, would have been easier if we didn't like pass the spot and I have to like make an excuse to get over, like, back over to the spot.
Yeah, and then I was just so confused because he kept saying, wait, like, let's stop here. And then I said, wait, why don't we go somewhere else? Because we already took so many pictures here this morning.
The exact same
and
spot.
And he was just like acting really weird, like trying to move me around and like looking around.
It was like golden hour, so just like I'm moving her like this, back, this, and Yana's just doing this, that's just how it was going. And so finally she kind of gets a little annoyed, like, wait, why do you want to take pictures here? And I was just like, baby, look at that pot ball. It looks so pretty back there, isn't it?
Yeah, and then so I'm like looking around, and then it looks like he's looking at someone, but I look over there and I don't see anyone. So in my head, I'm like, wait, is my friend here? And that's why she was messaging me, because they're surprising me and she's like here right now. Or is his older sister here because she's the one that like hooked us up with the Disney resort? And so I thought one of them was there and they were going to try to surprise me. But I kept looking and I didn't see anyone there. And then finally...
Well, yeah, as she looked back again, I finally was just like, yo, are we in the right spot? Yo, are we there yet? And finally, I got this thumbs up from the photographer. And that was our cue. That was our signal of like, that's when's the moment, And that's like, I had like a whole speech planned, and I gave her that speech afterwards, like at a different time. But in the moment when he did this, it's kind of funny. You see him smiling, thumbs up. Right behind him, you see a whole crowd of people, and all I think of is they're gonna ruin the shot. Like, if I don't do it right now, it's never gonna happen. Or it's not obviously gonna happen. If I don't do it right now, it's gonna be ruined. So like, Kelsey's still looking at the Epcot ball. So I tapped her on the shoulder and went down on one knee, and I just like, baby, will you marry me? Knowing that I had like almost no time before a crowd showed up.
And I think I was like, oh my god, baby. And then my first thought went to the ring, because I was just like so amazed that that's exactly what I described and it looked so pretty. But then all of a sudden, this woman comes into the middle of us and she's like, oh my god, give me your phone. And then it distracts my train of thought. And then I'm like, oh, I should give her my phone. And then I was just like, wait, this should be documented. And then he
I'm
looks
still
at
like
us.
this. And I'm just like, I have a photographer who's right there. Who's like basically like right behind you. You're in the shot, and she
And
like,
then we both look over, and the lady's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then she like backs away, and then he's still on his
I'm
knee.
still here.
And
I'm
it's
just like, maybe yes or no.
and then I say yes, and then we stand up and kiss, and I guess there's a whole crowd around us.
Yeah, the crowd that was behind the photographer ended up saying like doing a cheers and applause.
Yeah, they were like applauding and cheering. And then we go back to meet the photographer, and he introduces me. And the photographer was kind of annoyed, and he said, "I've never had that happen ever." And then we were like, "Oh, is it the lady?" Because yeah, we understand. Like, she had good intention.
Yeah, we were kind of cool with it, but he was pretty mad. He was just like no. After she finally left, she came back in the picture.
She went in the back middle of you guys, and she was taking selfies
right
and videos. And then he showed us the shots, and we were like, oh, but thankfully he got really great shots anyway.
Yeah.
So it just makes for a funny story. And then I think the first thing I said was, "Did you ask my parents?" And that's when he said that he had another surprise for me. And then he showed me the video, and the first thing I saw was my parents on there saying surprise and congratulations. And then it had his parents and all of our family members just wishing us congratulations and happy birthday. So that made me tear up, and it was really special. And then there was a little bit more time until the sun went down.
It was about 8 o'clock, and we're just like, okay, we'll probably have some more light until about 8:30. So,
so we
next 30 minutes, we just kind of went to different spots in the pavilions.
So
went to the Italy and France.
France, Japan.
Yeah, I think it was like France and Japan. We just went to those spots and took some more engagement photos, and they came out really great. So thank you again, Yannick. But right at the end of the photo shoot, like, we're just like, oh yeah, I think we're cool with everything. Like, that's all. And he left, and we left. Well, we like separated.
But I totally forgot to ask if we can have like 2 shots to post on social media, because I knew that everyone was waiting.
Yeah, everybody was just waiting. People are texting me, like commenting on my Instagram stories, like, I'm hyped, and I'm ready.
So apparently everyone who knew was just like refreshing our stories, and like we just weren't posting anything, and I wasn't posting anything, so they didn't know what was happening. So we texted the photographer, and like we're just waiting for his response to see if he would give us 2 shots. And then in the meantime, I guess we should have texted everyone, but we were just like totally enjoying the moment, and just
I was on vacation mode finally.
Yeah, we just had like such bliss.
I got my churros.
We went to get churros and beer in Mexico, the Mexican pavilion, and then we just wanted to take backup pictures just in case we didn't get the photographer's pics in time. Yeah, which is what I posted.
Well, and because we need to post something. So
yeah, I just felt so bad because I didn't know that I was stressing everyone out, and they were just waiting for hours. But I think it was nice because we were just enjoying the moment.
Yeah, so basically make some photos and videos just for that moment to post later on the night. And yeah, it was kind of funny because it was already like past 10 o'clock, and we're still on that bliss of, of just newly engaged, and we're like going back to our resort, and people are like texting us. Your mom was like asking me like, what happened? Can I post something? Like
And then also that night he played me the song that he surprised me with, which will come out later, and he gave me his speech, and that made me cry. And I think for the rest of the week we were just living in such bliss, like every day at the park, and I would be listening to the song and I would cry every time. So yeah, and now we're engaged. Okay. I don't like kissing.
this earring. Wow. Beautiful.